Hey, Head Coach Tom here. If you want to learn how 3 simple letters, in fact all the same letter, letter D, can absolutely transform your life, make you more efficient and effective, help you get more work done in less time, then stay with me. Let me put my bike away. I'll get right back to you. So what do 3 letters of the alphabet have to do with you being more effective and efficient? Well, let me tell you about the triple D strategy. And again, we're not talking about making reference to, Dolly Parton or anything here, okay? If you're like me, you probably get overwhelmed at times with just the vast number of things that you could focus on. I've been around the planet long enough now to see the information age come and see the implications of that. And I can tell you that if anything, in my 30-plus year business career, it's actually what I'm talking to you about now is even more intense than it was when I started my career years ago, because there's just so much information, so many good ideas. So how do you get any efficiency or any effectiveness when there's just so many good ideas? Because if you're like me, you'll go squirrel, and there'll be some other new cool idea that you want to chase and want to look after. Well, the triple D exercise is really simple. It's called dump, delegate, and do. And there's a few parts to it, so let me just follow along. But you know what? Getting a little smelly right now, so maybe I'm going to go shower. I'll talk to you in a sec.
Hey, Dr. Tom, back with you, clean and showered after a great ride. So let's get into this, the triple D, the 3 Ds, right? Let's get into what this is about, what this means, and how this can help you be more efficient and effective in your business. So just going to go to a screen share up here, and in order for you to be able to, see what the heck's going on my screen and be able to give you a look at things here, okay? So again, the 3 Ds are, for clarity, they are dump, delegate, and do, okay? And so the exercise starts out basically by just writing down absolutely everything that's in your awareness of things that you need to do, everything that's on your brain. So I want you to look at this in terms of both from the business side and as well from the personal side, okay? You want to be looking at everything, and you want to look at every aspect of your life. You want to look at the physical aspect of your life, the social aspect of your life, the mental aspect of your life, the spiritual, whatever that means to you, spiritual aspect of life, the financial aspect of life, and the family aspect of life. Okay, so all around what we call the hologram of life. Just put a piece of paper down and just word vomit everything out of you onto that page. All right. I always usually put it down for an hour or two and then come back and reread it. And as I reread things, other things get triggered. The goal is to just empty yourself and get done with everything. Now, my favorite way to actually do this is to take a piece of paper and to divide it into 3 columns. Okay, and we've got a template for this, but I mean, really, it's just 3 columns. Okay, and over here, I'll write dump, and over here, I'll write delegate, and then over here, I'll write do. All right. The goal of this exercise is you want to dump as much stuff as you can. And in my world, if I've dumped around 40% of the things that were on this list, okay, then I know I've really done a great job at this. But again, there's no magic to that. I've actually dumped at times greater than that, 70, 75, even 80% at times. I've also dumped a lot less. But that is kind of a target for you to do. So again, you read over all of the things you wrote down in your word vomit, and then you start to list them down, and the goal is to dump things. And again, the frame of reference here, you guys, is there might be things that you're thinking about or worrying about that you have no influence on. It's one of the reasons, the many reasons why I don't watch, newscasts, is because there's very little of the things I can put my energy, time, or money towards, and all it does is stress me out, worry about it. Besides, it's inaccurate and it's often unbalanced. There's a lot of positive things happening in the world, not just the negative things. But again, for context, it's a way for you to, think about, is this something I truly want to influence? Does it affect my values? Does it affect my day-to-day life? And if the answer is no, then just dump it. What I like to do too is just ceremoniously just like stroke it out off the list of things that I'd written. Okay? So again, you want to dump as much stuff as you can. Anything you can't dump, you want to delegate. See, there's a great concept that my teacher, strategic coach Dan Sullivan gave me, which is it's who, not how. Who, not how. Whenever you think, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get this done? Don't think how. Immediately go to who can I enroll to help me with this, do this with me, or do this for me. Okay? And that's basically the art of delegation. It's thinking about people either on your team, okay, or in your family, or if you're wise enough to have a virtual assistant or whatever, people that you can delegate to in order to get things off your plate and out there. There's a whole secondary conversation here around thinking, people can't do it as well as you, or they're going to do it differently. Different isn't wrong. It's just different, right? So there's a whole other conversation, other video you could watch in our YouTube library about this. But again, for now, just you're looking for things to delegate. Whenever you delegate, you want to get crystal clear, and you want to be sure that you put the person's name, and then you want to put a tentative deadline. Okay, and the reason I say tentative is because until you go and talk to that person and get an agreement for them to actually do the thing, at the timeline you've asked, you have no right to basically delegate. So in other words, you can never have a true delegation unless you have this really important word, which is agreement. So you can write things down on here, and it's wise to do that, but until you actually go and communicate with the person and explain to them exactly in detail what it is you want and the deadline, which maybe you need to change because they've got other things on the go, you got to get that agreement to do it. And then once you do, you got to have the kahunas to actually hold them accountable for what they agreed to do, which is a whole related conversation. Okay, the last category, of course, is where you're going to, let me see if I can move my little face out of the way here. The last category is where you're actually going to do things. And this is, in essence, where you're going to write down, again, the exact, let's do this in another color. Let's make this prettier, right? We're going to do it in green because green is money. You get stuff done, it's going to make you money. So we're going to go down and we're going to look at the exact details of the goal or the goal or the task. Okay, and then you want to also, just like you did for the delegation piece, you want to put a deadline on it. Okay, and again, the most common thing that those of us that are stricken with the optimism bud is we tend to take on too much, right? So you want to be cautiously optimistic. That's what. Let me just write that. You want to be cautiously optimistic about how much you can actually get done, and you want to lay this out. When I first started doing the Dump Delegates Do, I was telling a client today, I literally committed to doing them weekly, and I think I did it for 3 years weekly. Just get this stuff out of my brain. Then I evolved to where I was doing them, maybe twice a month, then to monthly, then to quarterly. And now sometimes I'll go even more than a quarter before I'll feel the need to do one because I just have such crystal clarity about my goals and what it is I'm here, to do. So that is the Triple D strategy, you guys, the Dump, Delegate, Do. And I can tell you these 3 Ds can and will change your life. Give it a go. And again, if you're enjoying these videos, we sure would love to hear from you. So certainly, let us know. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't know why you're not. Certainly, if you're enjoying the videos, hit the bell, subscribe, and get them in your inbox as soon as they're ready. Enjoy the rest of your day.